What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be going over Japanese Tuesday. So that means we're going to cover some decks. The training programs are out. You know, the little 2-drop, search the top 2 cards of your deck, pick a card of the color matching, and then it gets to reduce 1 Digi-Evolution with the delay costs down the line. So stuff like that's going to be important. Mulligan is in, and they also have more promos in the meta as well, but sadly none of those decks are incorporating them just yet. So without further ado, let's dive into this video and talk about it. It's looking like a slow week just because it is this season of, you know, holidays for a lot of the countries and in the Asian territories, Japan and everything like that. There's a lot of holidays in the mix during these months, so it's slowed down just a tad bit. Shine Greymon still dominating as always. Royal Knights in 70, Balfamont at close to 50. Greymon Tribal sneaking up right behind it, close to 50 as well. Beelzemon X at 42, Hunters at 40, Red Hybrid at 28, Mirage Galga at 26, Blue Flare 24, Crossheart 23, Alphamon 21. Then followed suit Machine Dramon, Rosemon, Bloom Hydro Quartz, Jessmon, All Force, Bellastar, Bielstar, Gallantmon, Examon, Gamamon, Grandis, the whole 9 yards. It just goes down from there. Taking a look at the percentiles, 14.5%, almost 15%, holding strong in Shine Greymon's favor. Royal Knights at 70, and Balfamont at about 50, 7.2%. These two are in the tie range, then 6.2 for Beelzemon and the Hunters, so on and so forth. So taking a look, we saw 2 increases for Shine Greymon. The Royal Knights deck got 2 increases. Balfamont got +1, Greymon Tribal +3, Beelzemon X +1, Hunters +3, Red Hybrid +1, Blue Flare +1, Crossheart +1, Machine Dramon +4. Then we're having Jessmon +2 and All Force +1. Mastemon got a +1 as well. And then the deck Doru got a +1. And then we had Red, Purple, Imperial Dramon and Purple, Yellow Controls top last week. A lot of different, interesting new takes. We're at 680 decks. The format still has plenty of development before we even get into BT-14. So it's going to be very interesting what changes might happen and occur. So let's take a look at some things here. I do use Digimon CG Guide. The link is, this is what you just have to type in, and then you'll get there. So they gather everything from Twitter and all that good stuff, and it really does help out. So first deck we're going to talk about is none other than Red Greymon. This deck is quite powerful, actually. It got decently... Mulligan helped the deck out in a way that it wasn't really doing too hot, and I think that's fine now. Don't quote me on it, but hey, it's worth taking into account. But with the offensive training, revealing the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 red card among them to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order, and then place this card into the battle area with a delay that one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a red Digimon in your hand by paying the Digi-Evolution cost. When Digivolving with this effect, reduce the Digi-Evolution cost by 2. So, being able to grab your Tai Kamiya, even if you needed the... What is it? So, you could grab a red Memboost if you really needed to dig deeper. But it's not a bad trade-off. And the deck is... This list is focusing on OTKing. What do I mean by that? Well, they're focusing on getting a tie out, having the Greymon with the extra security check, going to this Metal Greymon with either or of the Greymon X antibodies, then having an X antibody underneath, going to Metal Greymon for the extra security check. You could go into this War Greymon to get another security check, or you can go a different route. There's not a lot of issues with that. It's just normal gameplay, what you expect. Extra security checks pierce through, cause a lot of damage. Boom, your opponent just doesn't have much to stand in the way, because especially with the piercing that this deck gives, with this card just alone, and with the ability to raid and then do the same thing. Just being able to clear out all that beautiful security and make your opponent go, what just happened, as their head spins, not understanding what is going on. And then you just blitz Omni for game, or even in most cases, you can Omnimon X and just close out the game that way. And War Greymon X Antibody is just going to do what it wants to do anyway. So you have a bunch of Agumons. Of course, it looks like they went for a little more DP boosting just to guarantee that they can do some more damage and guarantee to get over some of those Royal Knight numbers, which sometimes you do need to be able to get over. So that is quite important when you are thinking about next format, when we get closer to, the Royal Knights and stuff like that. Just getting over certain magic numbers is what you want to do. The deck naturally definitely climbs on its own, but sometimes you just want to have that. And then we did have an all-4 stop, which I know we're going over decks I've already talked about, but some of these decks actually are starting to use the new trainers, so it's worth taking a note at and seeing what changes have come because of it. So with mental training, all fours definitely got a boost with this, because now their consistency, now revealing the top 2 for a reduced cost evolution later, not a bad thing. You get to grab the tamer or the Digimon you might need. So that really does help out, because you didn't really have a way of consistently getting to the tamers. Sometimes, you might whiff on the Arrow Vidramon rest. So maybe the mental training might help get you to that tamer you needed. Because again, it is see this arena, or your deck kind of just falls apart a bit, just because of the fact of how much power this arena has. All turns when one of your Digimon with Vidramon in its name becomes suspended. By suspending this tamer, activate that Digimon's Wind Digiballing effect, and once per turn, when one of your blue Digimon becomes unsuspended, gain 1 memory. So, comboing with all fours Vidramon X, you can combo it here. It just because that's how that wants to go. I mean, all fours Vidramon X lets you bounce and gets you stuff going. It does help out. And I mean, even going into all fours Vidramon, not a bad deal. The deck does play very interesting. I found in this list is the Dracmon combo piece here. Is reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 green or blue with Drawmon in its name. Most of this deck does have Drawmon in its name, except for your rookies, so you miss out only on that. And then 1 card with Examon, you don't care about that. But when one of your Digimon with Drawmon in its name becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for the turn. So this helps with blocking potential or comboing in, where you don't have to rely on Ty's DP boost. You can worry about Ty's draw advantage. So, and then using Babytomon is not a bad deal either, because then you can just combo in, get a blocker up with your blocker evade skills. So I see where they're going with it. Is this going to be the step we go forwards? Probably not. I think this was just a really spicy tech with the Dracomon and the Cordramon. Cordramon's really good if they hit it in security. There's a lot of potential at the end of the day. So I think the deck is still a very much scary threat. I think it's heavily slept on, but we'll have to see. And then finally, we're going to talk about Red Hybrid. So Red Hybrid, definitely with Mulligan, it definitely got better. It got its consistency. It's now just being able to play the game where you have a better option really does help out. So even with the offensive plugin training, same thing happens. You can grab your Takuyas, grab an Atomic Inferno if you needed it. Stuff like that just helps up the consistency of this deck tenfold. I like the splash of Gravity Crush, because being able to, let's say you have multiple Takuyas out, you can basically, extend your plays, Digivolve on multiple Tamers, get the wide board, go 1, 2, you don't mind passing your opponent a bunch of memory if you're just winning in that turn. So stuff like that does help out. And even getting into your Emperor Greymon for his extra security check, with this one, keeping it your turn and then swinging in for game really does help out that way as well. So stuff like this does add up eventually. Atomic Inferno is really good, because being able to use this early game when you're going into, let's say, this Burning Greymon for the extra 2000 DP, then you can go into this Takuya plus Atomic Inferno. So this will then equal out to clearing out your opponent's security stack. So that's not terrible to say. I think it's really awesome to see stuff starting to adapt the new offensive, the trainings, because again, sometimes that's all you need to do is be innovative and change things up. The trainings definitely do add a breath of fresh air in the form of deck building, just because the trainings now make a little more risky plays more rewarding, in my opinion, because now you don't have to worry about cards being in places you want them to be. They're now in the places they need to be. So stuff like this does matter from time to time, and it's good to see that results are a little lighter this week, but that's fine. We didn't have like another 50 results, but this does add up from time to time. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video and you take some valued information of understanding what this format is coming into. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace!